So, hello everyone. So, today's session we'll be discussing on one of the L2 VPN packages, which is already prepared by some of our colleagues here. So, I'll be using Aftab's computer to show you one of the packages, and we'll go through each and every, um, I would say, module as well as each and every part of the package so that we all understand what the package is all about, how it is created, and that will also help you to create your own. And also, we'll try to access the package through the REST API today. So a short session, just a walkthrough on a created package, and the package is just Yang and template package. And from the next session, maybe I would expect most of you to have at least one running package, and most of you to come with at least some queries that whatever you have done, how it all unfolded, and were there any problems, were there any issues, challenges, or any new learnings. So each one of you should come up with at least one learning, that what you found while doing the package, or what worked or what didn't work, at least one each, because next session should be more interactive, and it shouldn't be only me talking, but I want to hear from the team as well, because most of the time means it is me who is transmitting, and I'm not even sure if all of us are receiving or not. So means I would want everybody to be transmitter as well as receiver. So it should be transceiver, not just receiver. Okay. So to start off, you can see this desktop, and this is Ubuntu terminal, and I'm here in the packages directory. So before I get into packages directory, again, I would show you how the NSO was installed, what were the directories, and what are directories of our interest. So in any of the Linux servers, when you want to do a CD $home, so that one will take you to the user's home directory. So this is the user's home directory, and you do an ls-l, you find out what are the directories available in user's home directory. This is NSO training. So this is the directory which we have used to install NSO and related files. So here you can see there are some 3 directories available. So NCS-4.4.2. So whenever you see such kind of directory, that itself implies that that is the installation directory of NSO. So while you were doing the NSO install, you put all the installation files in the NSO in the NCS 4.4.2, that is the NCS and the version directory, and then inside this NCS 4.4.2, NCS 4.4.2. So the version would change, means if it's NCS 4.4.7, then the directory you should create is 4.4.7. So here, this is the NCS RC file, which, as we know, that we have to source this file to get all the paths. So source NCS RC. And inside the bin here, there were the setup files which we used to set up NCS. So this NCS-setup, this is what we use to install the NCS running directory and unpack all the files in the running directory. So I'm again going to go out of these directories, and I've come to a point where we have the NCS run and netsim and NCS 4.4.2. So NCS run is our running directory. So I go to NCS run and I say NCS is status. So NCS is running and it's good. So NCS underscore CLI minus C minus U admin. This is how you get to the NCS CLI. I'm exiting, and now here the directory structure is logs, NCS CDB, is scripts, is state, target, and the important directory packages. So the packages is the directory which we use to put all our packages, our nets. So let's get into the packages directory. So here you can see we have got so many nets. A10 net is available, Cisco iOS XR, iOS NX, Dell, ID allocator is one package available, Juniper Junos is another net, L2 VPN is another package, L3 VPN is another package, NSO util is another package, resource manager is another package. So these are all the packages and nets which are available in our NSO in our packages directory. Hey, hi Riaz, good morning. So now we are getting into the L2 VPN package. And how did we create this package, by the way? So last session, we discussed that we used NCS-make package command. Correct. Make package. And if I do a -- help here, it tells me how NCS make package command works. So here you can see NCS make package, and we have used this service skeleton, type package, this one, the last one we have used. So type we use, so these are the different types which we could use. So we use template type, and the package name, we gave it L2 VPN, and that's how we got the package skeleton built for L2 VPN. So I'm getting into the L2 VPN directory, and every package has a source, a load directory, template, and test. And of course the package metadata. So metadata includes what package it is and how the mapping logic should work, whether it is included the Python code, or it is included Java code, or what all things are included or not included. So that information is there in package metadata XML. If I go to this file, so this is all created by itself by NSO. So since it is a template only package, so you can see name of the package is L2 VPN, package version is 1.0. So even the versioning control and all you can do through this file. And the description is template based L2 VPN resource facing service. And the NCS minimum version required is 4.4. So here you are actually telling the NSO that to run this package, the minimum version which is required is 4.4. And this is how you package your packages, so that if you ship your package to another place and the NSO version is much lower than what is required, then instead of running into challenges after deploying the package, this will ensure that while you are compiling the package, it will throw the error that if the version of NCS is not even 4.4, suppose it's 4.2, then it will tell you that the minimum version required for running this package is 4.4. So this is how intelligently you ship your packages with the right kind of version control. So now we are going into the source directory, which is the directory of interest to us. So source has your YANG. So I'm going to YANG, and the YANG file is here, L2 VPN. So this file is created by itself through the NCS make package command. However, you have to put your YANG module here. So this is the YANG module which we have created for this package. So module L2 VPN, this command says that the module name is L2VPN. Namespace, we define a namespace in order to refer it within different modules, and we give a small alias to that, which is the prefix. So prefix is L2VPN. Now we are importing all our INET types. So we say import IETF INET types, import tailf NCS, import tailf common. So these are all the available modules, libraries which have different types of data structures available, which we'll be using while creating our package. So after importing this, and two more things we have imported the nets also. Import tailf net Cisco iOS and import tailf net Cisco iOS XR. So it is not mandatory to import the nets, but if you want to refer to some of the device parameters or some of the device structure or device model, then you must have the net, because in order to access the device you need the net, and in order to access the device model also, like if you want to check what is the device type or what was the device interface, and you want to do that from within your Yang model itself, then you will be using the net in order to do that. So you should have the import reference for the net within your Yang model. Otherwise, you won't be able to do that. So we have imported two nets. Then we are saying augment NCS : services. So we are inserting the package in the NCS tree, in the services tree. So /NCS : services is the place we are augmenting this package. Then we are creating a list. So in the last session, we discussed on various data types which are used in Yang: list, leaf. So list is a big data type which can have multiple leaves or leaf refs. So list, L2VPN. And why we have created list? Because L2VPN is a service which we are creating in NSO. And once this service is operational, we should be able to create a lot of L2VPNs using the same structure. So that's why we are using list. Then we are saying the key of the list is name. So name will be the name of the VPN. And then we are saying the pseudo-wire ID per VPN should be unique. So that means that while creating two VPNs, you should not use the same pseudo-wire ID. Then you are saying use NCS service data, and service point is L2VPN. So service point is the place where you insert your service, from where the service starts. So L2VPN is the service point, and then you say leaf. So now we are inside the list, and list name is L2VPN, and then we have created a leaf called name. Let me बताइए.
Uses NCS service data.
हाँ.
So
So what you are trying to say here is, whatever service you are creating, so you are using the data of that service. Then this leaf is the first leaf which is created within the list. So leaf is name. Tailf info is the attribute which tells about the type of leaf, or what is it, what is its use, what is it meant for. So when you use the NSO default UI, and if you hover your mouse on the text box which asks for the value of this leaf name, then the tailf info appears in a small pop-up that whatever information you put here, so that is more for user information, that what this leaf is meant for. And similar stuff we use for creating any UI on NSO. We get the Yang structure through API, and whatever is the tailf info, we try to give that as a on mouse hover or something like that. So service instance name is the tailf info. Mandatory true, we discussed this. If it is mandatory true, you have to put some value in this, otherwise it's not going to accept it. And the type is a string. So type is, again, we discussed init32 string and leaf ref. So this is the type is string. Now another variable which is leaf pseudowire ID. So this is tailf info for this one is unique pseudowire ID, and the type is uint32, and the range is so the number should lie between this. If you are giving anything other than this range, then it will give error. Then you have created another list inside the list. So this is hierarchical. So your main list is list L2 VPN, and inside this L2 VPN list, you have created another list, which is the list name is link. So now in order to create an L2 VPN, a single E-line L2 VPN with two endpoints, so it is a point-to-point pseudowire. So you must have two links. So one point is, means if a VPN has to be created from point A to point B, so point A configuration is your first link and point B configuration is your second link. So what you would want is that one L2 VPN service should have exactly two links. So that means that you cannot have just one link. Means if you configure it only on A side, it will not work. If you configure it only on B side, it will not work. You have to configure it on A side and B side both. But if you configure it on C side also, that doesn't make any sense. So what we have done is we have put here these two statements. So minimum element of this list is 2 and the maximum element is also 2. So that means that you should exactly have 2 elements in this list. If you don't have, it will give error. It will not let you commit the service. Okay. Then you have put key as the device. So this key is for this list, which is link. And then you are saying leaf device, and this leaf is mandatory true and type is leaf ref. So why type leaf ref? Because we want to give the list of devices from the CDB. So we will give a path from where to pick all the devices which are onboarded in NSO. So this is the path: NCS:devices, NCS:device, NCS:name. So as we discussed last time also, that there are various trees in CDB. So this is the devices tree, and this is how the structure of device tree is: devices, device, and then the device names. Then we have created a container iOS. So container was another data type which we discussed last time, that it can also contain various things. So now we have put a when statement here for this container. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to say that bring up this container only when what? When NCS:devices, NCS:device, NCS:name equal to current. So that means this is the XPath expression we discussed. I also gave one link which you can go through on the semantics and syntax of how to do XPath expressions. So this is saying that your device, when device is current, you go one level up and then you go to device type and NCS CLI, NCS:net ID equal to iOS ID Cisco iOS. So what it is trying to say is, bring this container up only when the device is an iOS device. And if you remember, while we were adding the devices, we were asked about the net. We went to the net type, device type, we went to the CLI, and then we selected the net. So from net, we are getting to know what type of device it is, and we are configuring it accordingly. And the reason for this is for configuring the interface ID. I'll tell you later on why we are looking for the device type. So now this iOS container will be up only when the device is iOS, and inside this container, we have defined two dependencies. So dependencies device and device type. And for doing all this, we are referring the net, and that is why we imported the nets in the Yang model. Because if we don't import the nets in the Yang model, these statements will start giving us errors, because the Yang will not know what these statements are. Okay. Now the other leaf is leaf interface number. So a leaf interface number is the attachment circuit interface number, gigabit, Ethernet, and whatever is the number, it's 0 by 0 or 0 by 1, 0 by 2, whatever. So in order to have the right number, we have made this container, so that, because what happens is the numbering of interfaces in iOS routers and iOS XR routers are very different. Why? Because in iOS, most of the time you will have a 2-digit number like 0 by 0, interface gigabit 0 by 0, 0 by 1, 0 by 2. While in iOS XR routers, you will have a 4-digit numbering most of the time, which is like gigabit 0 by 0 by 0 by 0 or 0 by 1 by 1 by 0, something like that. So in order to have the right numbering, we have tried to check the device type. So because the user can select any device type, if you have got a network which has got Cisco iOS and Cisco iOS XR, both the devices, you should be able to create an L2 VPN from an iOS device to an iOS device, or from an iOS device to iOS XR device, or from an XR device to XR device. Okay. So this is the interface number, mandatory true, and the leaf ref. So now we are getting the interface from the device itself. So if the device has 10 interfaces, we will give the user a drop-down list or the options to choose one of the interfaces available from the device. So that is why we first refer to the device type, because this path, this X path for the interface numbers for iOS and iOS XR is also different. So irrespective of whether the user is choosing an iOS device or an iOS XR device, we should be able to display the interface available. So the path is dref, 2 level up, device, another 2 level up, NCS config, iOS interface, iOS gigabit Ethernet, iOS name. So this will give all the names of all the IDs of available interfaces, so we can choose. Now
only give the interfaces of gigabit Ethernet.
So yes, because we have written gigabit. So if our requirement was to have 100 gigabit also, or maybe fast Ethernet also, we could have done it. But for this model, the requirement is only for gigabit Ethernet. That's why. So this is an example that this is the path. So you can have a different path altogether here. Then the other container is iOS XR. And here also there is a when statement. So here it is checking whether the net or whether the device type is iOS XR. And if the device type is iOS XR, then the path for the interface leaf ref is a bit different. So in order to have right path based on the choice of device, we used container and when statement. Got it? And then we have used a leaf called remote IP. So remote IP is a leaf where we are asking for the remote IP for the L2 VPN, because as we discussed in the last session, some 4 or 5 things which we need for L2 VPN is your devices, 2 devices, interfaces per device, and your remote IP for each of the device. So we have asked for the remote IP, and type for this leaf is INET type address. So it will only accept IP address because the INET type is defined. and it will only ask for, and we have also defined a pattern. So this pattern says this is a requirement thing that if you know that the loopback IPs for most of the devices are starting from 10.0.0 and there is some number after that, so you can put a pattern like this. Or if you don't want, then you need not to have any pattern here. Just say device type inet and that's it. No pattern, so you can put any IP address of your choice. So these things like pattern and all, this is to avoid or minimize the user efforts and the chances of error. Because if the user doesn't know what kind of loopback addresses are available, then he can put any IP address, and that's why we are restricting the user, because we know the network engineer has told us that the loopback addresses are in the range 10.0.0. So we have put a pattern here to restrict the inputs with certain conditions. So this was our Yang model, and let me show you the package itself. So I'm going to my NSO GUI and logged in. So I go to this L2 VPN package, which is available here because I have compiled it and I've done a package reload and I have the package available here. And when I click on make new, so this is a list, L2 VPN list name. So I'm creating a new list. So I am giving it my name and I have another one created here. I click on this. And once I click on this, I have a field customer. I define any one of them I choose from the list. And this is the link, which is what we defined. And in the link, I can have just two links. So I have to choose the device. So this is the list, the leaf ref. So when we define it as leaf ref, so this is how it comes. So I can choose any of the routers. Suppose I choose PE110. I say add. And then PE110 is an iOS device. So my iOS container came here because I used the when statement. And when I go to this iOS, so interface number is again the interface. It is picking it up from the device itself. Okay. So I can choose any of the available interfaces here. Then I again go to link and I choose another link. So this time I'm choosing an XR device. PXR0 is the device which I'm choosing here. I say add and see the container here now is iOS XR. And when I choose the interface, so you can see the interface numbering, which is, it is directly taking it from the device. And if I wouldn't have done it, then it wouldn't be able to go to the right path to get this interface numbers, because the path for interfaces is different for iOS and for iOS XR. So I used a when statement to do this trick. And the loopback interface means for the remote IP address, I have chosen as 0. So my package has another trick which I'll show in the template. So what I'm trying to do is I am getting the loopback IP or the remote IP address automatically by choosing the device. So if I know that the device is PEXR0, then what I am trying to do is I am going to that device and I am taking the loopback 0 interface IP address from an X path and equating it in my variable and then making the service work. So if I do a commit dry run, so this is how I get a commit dry run. So device services, L2 VPN, name is Mohit, customer Airtel, link PE. So there are two links. So link PE110 and interface number is 0 by 1. Link P XR 0, interface number is this, and IP address I am getting directly from the device, and now I can commit it and the configuration I'll get it. So in the template, how I'm doing it is, I'll show you. So within my service model, I have this directory called template. So it is besides the source directory. As soon as I get into my my package, my service directory, I have the source, the template, the test, the package metadata XML. So earlier I went into source and YAN. Now I'm going to the template directory. So this is also created automatically, and this file L2 VPN template is also created automatically. So, but the template we have created on our own. And how did we create that? The configuration which the network engineer gave us, we took that configuration, we went ahead and tried to configure that in our NSO CLI, and then we did a commit dry run out format XML, and that's how we converted the network engineer given configuration into XML, and that's what we pasted here in the file. But we did some magic here. So rest of the configuration remains same, but wherever there are device names, there are values, we have equated the values with the variables. So you can see that device, and this is the first device name. So what I'm trying to do here is, I have put curly braces and a forward slash, and then I'm saying link 1 / device. So this is the variable which is there in the YANG model. So in the from the YANG model, I'm saying that the device name, you take it from link 1 device. So in link 1, whatever device the user has chosen, substitute that device value here in the template. Understood? Then we are saying interface iOS. So here we are saying interface iOS no create. So this is the template for iOS device, and similarly we will have to do for XR also, because we have to cater to any of the device type which is available. So this is the template for iOS device. So gigabit Ethernet, and then after gigabit Ethernet we have to put the interface number 0 by 0, 0 by 1, and that is also a user choice. So whatever user chooses, we have to put it here. So this is the variable which we have used here, /link1 / iOS, because inside the link 1 we have a container, you remember? So container was iOS, and inside the container we had the variable called, or the leaf called interface -number. So we are substituting that here. So whatever user chooses 0 by 1 or 0 by 2 or whatever gets substituted here in the template. Then we are saying connect, xconnect, and then the address. So address is what? The remote IP address. So now how we will get the remote IP address is, we are using an XPath based variable. So we are saying dref /link2. So remote IP is what? The IP of the other device. So we are saying link2. So whatever we have chosen in link2, so whatever device we chose in link2, we are getting to that device config. Then we are getting into, in the config tree, we are getting into the interface, and then we are getting into the loopback, and name is 0. So loopback 0. We have got up till loopback 0, and then we say IP address, primary address. So this is how we are getting it for iOS device. And similarly, we have put a pipe. So pipe here is just as a Boolean operator, or as your logical, sorry, not Boolean operator, but as a logical operator. It is an OR operator. You have OR and the gates, OR and NAND, NOR. So this is an OR operator. So either this or this. So why either this or that? Because either the device could be iOS. So if the device is iOS, then the path for getting the IP address will be this. If the device is iOS XR, because link 2 could be either iOS or either iOS XR, depends on user choice, and user can choose any of them. So we have given an OR, so link to device config interface loopback ID 0 IPv4 address IP. So this is how you get the IP address in iOS XR case. And how do we actually got these XPaths? So it's very simple. As we discussed in the last session, we go to the CLI, we do a show run and try to get to this path, and then we pipe it and we say display XPath, and we get the XPath. And of course, there are some certain ways of writing the XPath, which we should know on how to equate it with the values and all. So now the pseudo-wire ID. So pseudo-wire ID is, we have substituted it with the variable which we defined in Yang, which is /pwid. Then encapsulation MPLS. So this is static. We need not to do anything. This will always remain MPLS. So that's fine. And so this one ends here. And now we are doing the same stuff for iOS XR. You can see here, iOS XR. Because the link one also, the device could be either iOS or iOS XR. So if the device is iOS XR, so we are putting the template for iOS XR. So iOS XR, in order to create L2 VPN, you have to do group, then name, then gigabit interface, iOS XR interface number. And then you here also you are getting the IP address from link 2. So this is the config template for your first endpoint. Now you will do it for the second endpoint, which is link 2. Okay. So here you have started to do it for link 2. So here you are doing it for link 2. And then while getting the IP address, you are getting it from link 1. Because that is how the cross connect works. Means from on point A, you have to get the IP address of point B, or point B, you have to get the IP address of point A. And this is similar, just exactly similar for iOS and for iOS XR. So this is our template. And now I'm opening the Postman. So we'll finish it in time today. Means we'll just go with the Postman. I'll just try to query this service from the REST API, and that's all for today. So here is your Postman. It's a REST client. And the good part about NSO is the fact that as soon as you have your service model prepared in NSO, it gives you the CLI to access it, it gives you the GUI to access it, and it also gives you the API to access it. And two of the APIs are of interest to us. So one is the REST API, and another one is the JSON RPC interface. So here I'm using the REST API, and you can similarly use the JSON RPC as well. So the API URI to run is team update for Postman. What is it saying? Okay, no worries. This is your API URI. So http:/localhost. So localhost because my NSO is on the same computer, and then the port, which is 8080. So in our NSO, we have a config file where you can actually define which port will be used to run your API, where your NSO will listen for the API guest and post and put methods. So the port is 8080, then the API URI is /API/running. So we put this URI, we go to the authorization. So it's a secured API and we use the basic auth with our NSO username and password. So the default username for NSO is admin. Username and password is admin. You can change it for security purposes. So whatever is your NSO username password, you put it here, and in the headers, your content should be of type XML application, XML, JSON, or yang.vnd. And we should be good to go. So this is a get which I'm trying to do. So I hit the NSO and let's see what happens. So I have some response here. Let's analyze the response, what it has. So it is giving us all the trees which are available in the running. So it is giving us the users, the groups, admin, any group, then it is giving us the ports on which the NSO is listening. So these are all admin things for NSO. Now, if we get into the service tree, which is of importance to us. So here, okay, so customers, so what all customers NSO has. So customers also we have created. So Acme, Airtel, DSFD, these are some customers which we have created. Then you have the devices. So you have all routers, C routers, P routers. These are the groups which Aftab has created in his NSO. And these are all the routers which are onboarded on NSO. So you have added these devices in NSO and NSO knows about these devices. So these are your devices. Then you have got your services.
These are earlier packages.
These are earlier Java packages. That's fine. So now if I say running dash services, I hit. So when I do running dash services, I have some response, ABC, it's just the logger. Yes, but I don't see it here.
Services slash.
Should be services slash L2 VPN only. Yeah. So when I do services slash L2 VPN, I see the services.
There is only one instance is created.
Only one instance is created. Yes, is LLLL. And there are two devices. So this is how you do the REST API, and you can even do a search with LLLL $deep. So this is how you make a get search. Another $deep. So this is your service, and I did a deep search. So it gave you the interfaces and everything, what was configured for your service. And similarly, you can take this REST here, this XML here, and you can create a service by hosting it. So if I just copy this one, copy, and instead of get, I do a post, and I go to the body, raw, I put it here, and I change the name to something else. That was test, and the link also I change it to P110, and P113 should be fine. And this operations, I don't need to post these operations. I'll just remove them. And I have to post it, the services. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to post it. Something happened. Let's see what. So it gave me some error, malformed message. Okay, so this is application VND, and this is what I should, header, I should put it, content type. So,
Not the JSON, XML one.
sorry?
The XML one. But we are posting XML. Applications.
Okay, this one I think. Okay, copy. So I go to the header. Here I do a content type. Content type. And I just do the header. Try to send it again. And it's created. So now if I go here in our NSO UI, I do L2 VPN, the test is created, you can see here. So this is a simple example of how you use the REST APIs to create, even if you want to update something, you can use put method to update, you can delete, you can do whatever you want through the REST API, as well as JSON RPC. Next session, we'll talk about JSON RPC as well, which we are using for BOA and all. So, guys, I want all of you to create at least one service package, use any configuration, or in order to help you out, I'll try to give some configuration for iOS devices and XR devices to create a service. So all of you try to create it the way you want, and if there are any challenges you face, we'll try to figure it out, fix it, and that's the best way to learn, because if you do it yourself, I think you'll learn better. If I give you the solution also, then it's more of the copy paste, that whatever solution I give, you just copy it and paste it and it works, and less of learning. So I want more of learning. So we'll give some configurations. You will all receive it on your emails, and it will be small. So I don't want you guys to waste a lot of time doing this. But a quick 1 hour, 2 hour of time in a week, I think should be sufficient if you're doing it right. If you have questions, do feel free to ask me. Okay, guys, thank you. That was all for today, and we'll discuss the rest of the things in the coming sessions. Thank you.